Okay, bom dia, good morning. Good morning, Joe. It's a pleasure to have you here. André is going to make a formal introduction to you, but let me already say some words about you.
Okay.
Joe has been a very strong supporter of Fiocruz-China interaction since the very, very beginning. I think the first time I was in China, invited by George, George put Joe to help me during all my stay. And he was more than a helper. He was just a nice colleague. We learned to talk about science, about life. He was very good at introducing me to Chinese colleagues, to Chinese institutions, and to Chinese restaurants, and to Chinese food. So with him, we explored various aspects of China, cultural life, scientific life, leisure. So he was very, very nice colleague and friend. So I'm very happy that he's doing this session today. But I'll let André make a more formal presentation on the Joe's scientific career and the role he's playing in China-Brazil relationship. André, up to you.
So everybody, it's a pleasure to make this first Institute of Microbiology and CDTS conversation. This is Tong Zhou. He works here in the Institute of Microbiology in the laboratory, but as well in a strategic division, trying to think about the next steps of the institute and then making some networking and planning with other institutions in the Chinese Academy of Sciences, as well as governmental institutions and private institutions in China. So he has a very good knowledge about the works of the planning and which are the founding agencies in China. He has also connections with the Minister of Science and Technology, and he has basically stand up for our cooperation since the beginning, as Morel has just told us. And I invited him to speak about the reform in science and technology of China. Of course, this reform has just been announced in the beginning of this year. So Joe will speak about it, but he will also give you all a general panorama of the Institute of Microbiology, so you can have like a strong, a better view of exactly how things works over here. And he will do this presentation, and then we have time to do some conversation. And it's relevant to note that this is just the first step towards a better understanding of our systems of science and technology, because so far we have been very oriented to the health cooperation, specifically to some target products, to discuss some specific lines of research. But now we will talk about science and technology as a system in general. And I'm very pleased to introduce you to Tong Zhou, our colleague here from the Institute of Microbiology, and also someone that helps George Gaofu to articulate all the works that are under his supervision. And this is a very, 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 very wide panorama of activities that range from the various ministers with, as well as international cooperation. So please, Joe.
Okay. Thank you. And dear colleagues, and I'm very honored to have this opportunity to have the presentation to your colleagues. And I would like to express my gratitude to you and the CDTS. Yes. And my name is Zhou Tong, and my brother name is Zhou. Yes. And I'm the director of the strategy planning department of the microbiology institution. Today, I will introduce to you the reform and the scientific and the technology of China through the development of the Microbiology Institute. I think the history of the Microbiology Institution development is could have a perspective of the how the reform of the China development on the science and the technology.
So I'll share the.
And I think it's a good to you because in the end of August, the delegation from our institution will come to the field cruise, and every our friend will understand our better and know the background. Okay.
Okay.
Or stop or video.
It's already. Here you go back, and if you press pause, goes forward.
Okay. And the Institute of the Microbiology Chinese Academy of Science is one of the largest comprehensive national institute of the microbiology science in the world. Actually, we founded in the 1985. We are the second wave the established of the China Academy of Science, the institute established. And now we have the research group near 1902 and or have the faculty and the staff around 500. And we have 5 class academicians and include George. And in the 2021, actually, there have 553 SCI article and have acquired 191 patent. And actually, I give you this slide. Is there have a laboratory in our institute. It could be reflect how the reform of the China the research is. The title is more than 60 years of the Academy of Science, the scientists between the established and split and highlight national people, national affair, and the national responsibility. Because when the Microbiology Institute initially established, actually our job is to reserve such this picture. This is the Mao, is the President Mao.
Yeah. I'm going to have the spotlight. So
okay.
Yeah, do you see our mouse? Can you see our mouse?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Okay. Okay. This we just established, and actually we need to resolve the problem of the blight of the potatoes. Maybe this actually this influenced about Ireland and on the British Ireland. And in the 1990s, actually there our institute established and set up a virology laboratory. And at that time, all the investigator on the virology actually focus on the plant virus. And then we established the open laboratory of the plant biotechnology of the Chinese Academy of Science. Actually, after SARS outbreak, and such as George and a lot of the scientists come back to China to, because we know the nation required us to come back. And from that point, actually, before the SARS, the laboratory already split. The split. One line is focused on the virus infect people. Another line is focused on the virus infect plant. Actually, this line is for the people health, and another line is for the food safety. And here, George Zhou at the 2008 and the Beijing Olympic game year, yes, the George established the laboratory pathogenic microbiology and the immunology of the Chinese Academy of Science, and George Fugao is the director. And 2020, you know, the COVID-19 outbreak, and after 1 year, after 1 year, the Chinese Academy of Science, they said reform. You need reform. Then all the investigator researchers, and we reworking together. We combine these two lines and focus on the actually vaccine, on the pathogen, on how the adaptation is immunology or around immunology, because we know in the future the people health very important, because our leadership already emphasized that in this our responsibility. And this is what is the Chinese Academy of Science. Actually, everything we focus on what nation need, the requirement of our country, okay? And we could arrange a split or recombine. And during the outbreak of the COVID-19, actually, this is working for the George's Lab and for also from our institute. This is only one, the protein subunit, the vaccine at that time, the successful in China, and but later maybe half the years later they have another protein subunit. But we are the first line of the China to develop this vaccine. This is why, because the George emphasized the nation required at that time we required a vaccine, and we are familiar with the protein subunit, because George very be good at the molecule structure design, and we do the protein subunit and quickly do the products. Actually, they're around 300,000 people, 300 million, sorry, 300 million people be vaccinated by this vaccine. And this slide is through the development of the microbiology institution, and we could to have introduce for you, and for the bio industry. For the bio industry, how we do the indispensable and for the innovation driven and to develop. Actually, the first is we need have ourselves basic research team and the platform. And after basic research, we need to focus on technology innovation. And because the later slide I will introduce what is the scientific, what is technology. Actually, there are difference, and we need to focus on the talent, and the talent we need the cultivation and education, and this institution is very focused on the talent culture education. Actually, so far in China, the key factor, the whole country know the key factor is talent, the people. People is important, and the investigator, every investigator will have the strong support from the government, from the institute, and from the environment. They have a lot very good atmosphere for support to them to do the research, and the third line we need to the establishment is we need help industry transformation and help them to upgrading, because they upgrading, the requirement will be updated. They will tell us to what they need and what they meet to the result. So this is I think it's they need developed together. Our institute with the industry environment will be developed together, and the digital capacity of the science and technology. And this is actually newly requirement, but it's important because the traditionally such as pathogenesis research and the immunology research, clinic trial or clinic research, actually from the conventional or classic way, the collaboration between these three areas maybe a little bit hard, but through the digital collection and the share of the scientific result or idea very quickly. So this is This is what we focus on, the digital capacity. And another two things is we keep the focus on solution of the social public need, and let people understand what you researching and what you working on. And another thing is we still upgrade our the rule and the law to meet the challenge of the ethic and the social concept. This maybe our two countries meet the same thing. And our mission, and this is now so far the our institute mission is actually they have like two hands. The first hand is resolve harmful microbiology and focus on the infection disease. Another half part is we do the effective microbiology, and such as the resource biotechnology and the industrial biotechnology to help people to sustainable development for our country. They have a two hand in our institution. And our research system, and such as I just introduced this laboratory. This laboratory that cause the microbiology pathogenesis and this cause the pathogenesis, microbiology, and immunology. And actually, both this laboratory, state key laboratory, and the cause key state laboratory, now they will combine. They will combine to research on the vaccine. And now this laboratory, the key laboratory of the pathology and the key laboratory on the microbe resource, actually they combine to focus on the microbiology diversity and the sustainable development. Actually now in the future, the Institute of the China Academy of Science of the Microbiology will have mainly two laboratories. The one is working on the diversity, microbiology diversity, and the sustainable development. Another is working on the vaccine, and especially the modern vaccine to development the new generation vaccine. And this is I prepare for our Brazil friend to share the reform, the 5 highlight reform. And the first thing is very important is never forget the initial aspiration. Okay, and so far, even in my generation, there's already 50 years ago. Yes, we still every day to learn why the first generation scientists established this institution, and our mission is to address the requirement, the problem of the China development. And so why could us could develop the institute rapid development? And because we focus on the people, the talent is a key factor. And so far in China, and our research project and the foundation, actually, I think is become better because they understand the scientific is inquired. Some people to inquire the questions, what's wrong, and we need to research the direction. And some people focus on technology. Technology gave us the solution, gave us the way to resolve, to address this the scientific the inquired. And another thing is so far China, everybody understand China now in development in a special area. Actually, they have international with the US that maybe have some misunderstanding. And now actually we know our job, okay, and we need self resilience and develop our system, okay. And another thing is very important, such as we sit together, and George actually emphasized open man and open our the connection with the overseas friends, okay. And because one global, one health is always very important, especially for the pathogenesis research. The virus never use the passport. And so I am, because I'm the strategy planning department, I need to answer a lot of people how the development in the future. And actually the first question I discuss with our scientists is in the area of the artificial intelligence. Someone says the first technology revolution is driven by the biotechnology so far, because the AI is still the biotechnology will drive the first. Actually, if we follow the first revolution, second revolution, and third revolution, we will understand actually so far the mainstream driven is combined, is a mixture, and I say it here, driven by various cutting-edge technologies that influence, push every other different field together to contribute technological and social progress. Why? Because such as the AI and the biotechnology, material scientists, and it's all they will combine together to push the revolution to happen. So now in the microbiology, we now have initiate of the huge project is the artificial intelligence for microbiology project. Okay, and this is the digital of the microbiology. We want to make the microbiology digital, and we focus on the full direction, the data analysis and the prediction, and the drug discovery and the design, and the pathogen detection and the diagnosis, and the bioprocessing stimulation and the optimization. Okay, and we focus on this full direction, and now we actually after people we work together, now we have a tiny group already focused on this full direction, and the integration. This is what the institute should be focused on. It's not scientists focused on. The integration of the biotechnology and the digital technology require a powerful platform, and in China, the development very clear the responsibility, and the scientists just thinking and to do what you want to do, and our job is to establish the proper platform. You see the why microbiology institute could do that, because we have the microbiology resource, the storage and the big data storage. Both of them we have already established. There have a Chinese General Microbiology Culture Collection Center, and we have the fungal herbarium, and we have the World Data Center for Microbiology Organisms. And so the digital or the micro resource, both of them already our institute established it. And from the newly research, we could have the evidence, and you will see there are a lot of the big biotechnology and the intelligent technology, digital technology combined research, such as we use the AI to calculate and to do the drug design, and we use some the AI to do the prediction, and do some even from the biology optimization. I think here there are a lot of the newly designed is basic on the aim. The aim is very important, is the AI for microbiology. I think, and in the future, this is very important. And we maybe have we evaluated. Okay, we will predict. We think we have 10 to 15 years to make the digital capacity preparation. Well, we in this period we need to make the process of the microbe and to the element of microbe and such as the infection process, we need to make it digital to computer could be mimic what happened. The processing should be mimicked. There have 10 to the 15 years we require focus on this work, and we also have the some supporting system in our institute, and there have 3 international journal, and if you want, we could connect. And I think this journal is achieved by the George. Okay, and we also have the P3 laboratory, and we will establish a new P3 laboratory around Beijing. Okay, and the international cooperation is why I use this slide. Actually, this slide is from 2018, and this slide thanks for the Carlos, and because all the CEID is successful, it's depend on Carlos advice. Yes, and we are IDPRC successful, and we use the model of the IDPRC to establish the new global institute. And then now we will keep this center, keep this center, and I think we will re-establish the interview delegation. Okay, each year delegation we do the collaboration. And another thing is we have another international organization such with different country. Okay, actually in our institute we have 2 Castiva Center of the Excellence. One is for with yours is the infectious disease. Another thing is with the biotechnology. It's meaning focus on the Middle Asia and to help they do the industry reform and upgrade. And another is such as we have with Uzbekistan have the joint laboratory, and China Japan joint laboratory, only one, yeah, in this building, and the China Thailand laboratory, okay, in the microbiology biotechnology. Okay, thank you, Eric, Ocean.
So let me just.
Thank you, Zhou. I think this was quite was interesting seminar. Andrea, I let you take questions, and then okay, we already have one hand.
Okay, well, so while I prepare myself to read the questions, just to make a small comment. That's how interesting is that virology began to help food security, right? It was plant oriented with potatoes, and then it's kind of like got more oriented to human disease and gained different specific laboratories to deal with different specific problems. And now, due to new environments, new challenges, they merged some laboratories and to reorganize the research according to their assessment of the circumstances. So I don't know. I'm not reading YouTube, so I don't know if somebody wants to make a question. About.
Eu acho que a Ximena tem levantado a mão, não sei se ela ainda quer.
Eu acho que ela estava aplaudindo.
Tá bom. Bom, enquanto as pessoas pensam, então deixa eu fazer. Sorry. So while people are thinking of question, let me make one comment. My comment is that I hope you all paid attention to the presentation of Zhou, because our connection with China, what we are calling the IDRPC CEID connection, is going to be in Brazil through CDTS, in China through the Institute of Microbiology. So what you saw in his presentation was the how the Institute of Microbiology is organized, how it deals, which is their mission, and how they are at the forefront of science, technology, and policy. I think the policy of Chinese institutions is quite close to that of Fiocruz. Is a policy that takes health and well-being of population, Brazilian Chinese, on a very important level. And to show how this is important, our former president of Fiocruz became our Minister of Health. Nise became now Brazil's Minister of Health. So she's taking the philosophy, mission, values of Fiocruz at a very high national level. And so I think it's very important that we, by several mechanisms, we selected the Institute of Microbiology as our preferential partner in China. Why? Because we have similar goals, similar missions, similar talents, and similar will to collaborate and work for health and the international peace, international solidarity, and common prosperity of our populations. You see, I think that's very, very important. And Zhou made a very nice overview of the Institute of Microbiology. In the next months and years, we are going to deepen our collaboration with China. And now in September, there are going to be exchanges. They are coming, a group of Chinese end of August, beginning of September. And myself, André Lobato, Krieger, Rodrigo, Antonio Carlos Campos Carvalho, and Bill Provence, we will go to China to participate at meetings. And when our new building will be ready in 2024, then we are going to host a group, a Brazil-China physical facility here, and we are going to have physical facilities in China. I'm anxious, Joe, to see how the new institute that George inaugurated in Shanxi, how it's in the name of city, André? Taiwan?
对，有言这个大院的的沙里
Sari.
高盛研究。
Oh yeah, the Sari, yes, the Sari.
Sari, yeah.
Yes.
I'm anxious to see because I saw it while it was being built. I found I thought it was perfect.
There is a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
picture of.
Yeah, so I'm anxious to see that institute. So for the people who are enjoying this seminar, you can put in your plans staying some time in China, working with our Chinese colleagues.
So somebody got in. Gabriel, you want to make a question?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this nice talk. Actually, I would like to hear a little bit more about how the state key laboratories in China are organized and how fluid they are in the infrastructure point. Because here in Brazil we have the IMCAS. They are like spread over the country, and if I understand. On the way that the state key laboratories, they are physical infrastructures that aggregates a lot of knowledge and people from across the country towards a specific goal. I don't know if you can comment about it, just to I'm sorry, just to make sure that how China are like putting the effort towards some specific goals. Can you comment about this, please?
Yeah.
What's the key state laboratory?
Yeah, and the key state laboratory actually in China have three round reform, and the first generation is basic on the I think around before the 1980, before the 1980s, I think everything is the first generation of the key state laboratory, focused on actually the technology. It's mainly for the technology. It's their goals. Actually, in China, the state laboratory always have the goals on the title. What you are working on that. It not is related to the field, but relate to your job, your goals. What the goal you will successful on, they will in your title. So from the title, you will know what they focus on. Such as our new established key state laboratory is the modern vaccine, is the next generation vaccine. You will understand that. And the second round is from the 1980 to before the 1996 or 8, okay, before the 2000. On that time, the China developed faster and faster, but the funding is not very enough. So on that time, they will have some they said key state laboratory, okay, and they will 3 levels laboratory, national and province. Some of the province or the education or a health minister, they have the lot of the key state laboratory, okay. On that time, you will find in China have a lot of the state laboratory, and you will confuse on that time. On that title, even you could not find the goal. You don't know what they want to do. Sometimes it's a little bit confused because they develop so fast. And now in China, much more clear is a national laboratory. Only named the national laboratory. Not from the education minister, not from the health minister, not from the environment minister, yes, not from agriculture minister. Only scientific and technology have the authority on this generation laboratory establishment, because they required very clear the dogma of the development. Okay, every area what we need and what we which one is very important, and some goals maybe later, and they will the laboratory will establish later. So they have a different plan and a different area. So this is the 3rd generation. So far, actually, our laboratory is belong in this generation, and we still is prepare for the application for the national laboratory. It's very hard in China. You know, that is why the scientists need to demonstrate, such as our modern vaccine. They will ask us what is the modern vaccine? mRNA vaccine is modern vaccine, or some the subunit vaccine, subunit protein is the modern vaccine, and why you want to establish the laboratory. And so after you establish laboratory, and what in the future, what you think the vaccine development in future. So every laboratory in China, the government and the scientists will working together to help the scientists want to establish the laboratory, to thinking deep, to thinking in the future what you need and what you need nation to help you. You need the government to help you. What foundation gave you on which area? It's much more better than the before, and I think it helped for you to understand the key state laboratory in China.
Alice has a question.
I'd like to thank you for your presentation. First of all, I was very impressed with the results for artificial intelligence and how you're using it associated with biotech. Really, I found that very impressive. And I work in the area of patenting, That's my field of specialty, and I was curious to see if in these recent reforms that you went through, was there a change in patenting strategy as well? Because I know that in the, I don't know, maybe in the last decade, China, the Chinese government started with the strategy of very aggressive patenting. Aggressive meaning, maybe it's not the correct term, but increasing numbers. So patenting was very important in terms of the number. And do you foresee a change in reducing the number of patents and focusing on the ones that are more promising? Or do you think the strategy still is to increase numbers?
Let me.
I'm just going to say to him again,
Not very clear
because there was some noise in the network. So I'm just going to repeat him. So she said that she works with pathogens, right? And that she was very impressed with the strategy, and she's asking if that China numbers.
Sorry, Andrea, it's patents. And
Patents,
because I always
not
say,
pathogens. Patents, not pathogens.
Patents. Yeah. So I was getting right now, because this was the second part, that the number of patents in China grew a lot in the next years. So she's asking about this balance between the number and the quality of patents. How do
if there are, because they had a strategy that was to increase the numbers. I was wondering if the strategy is changing, if it's the moment in these reforms that they are changing the strategy, or if he thinks that the strategy is still to file as many patents as possible, at least for now.
Okay, and actually in our institute, for example, we have the special department of the patent. To me, actually, I work on the antibody. I work research on antibody. To me, I have the nearly 15 patent approved patent to myself, and I really understand what you want to say. And actually, in China, it's real. In last 10 years, there is a very growth fast for the patent, because they think the paper the published and the patent was similar, because I do the work and I apply the patent. But with the globalization, the patent, especially the low quality the patent, will have the problem. And to ourselves is the bad patent could not protect effectively. And to the outside is your patent. Actually, you even don't know what the patent in another country, and you do the patent. Actually, they have something problem. So in China, actually, the government very emphasize the importance of the patent. It's related to the sustainable development. And actually, I could tell you, in China, their name, the 破思维 is a how to translate to you, is a 破思维 is a breakthrough barrier for the scientists, because last 10 years, the 4 things to evaluate scientists is very important. Paper, how many papers you publish, how many patents you have, how many funding you have, and I think how many awards you have. Yes, and now the Chinese government tell every institute and every leadership in the scientist area, do not care about that. Let scientists grow by themselves. Let them can breathe. Okay, and do not ask the number. This I think is a great thing related reform in China. It's a silent reform. Actually, I think your question is very good. Another 4 things, we know what happened in China, but later, maybe in the future will be better. Okay, we already know what happened.
No, amazing. Just having this removed from the evaluation, I think will have an important impact, because then the researchers won't be obliged by the metrics, evaluated by these metrics that sometimes they don't mean anything, right? So excellent. Thank you.
But we're still working on that. When our delegation go to your country, maybe we need to learn. Yes, it's very important for the scientists, because George said the profile is the life of the scientist. How to evaluate them? How to the better to evaluate them to work, and it's very, very important. This is really respectful for them. Yes, that is why we're still working on that.
Yeah, of course, that you are also going to publish a lot of patents and articles, and the pressure is huge. Like I'm just going to give an example. This is a building. Like, how many floors we have here? 8.
This part is 8.
Maybe 8. There are like 3, 4 buildings. It's even difficult to know when a building begins and the other one ends. And they have many laboratories in each floor, and all laboratories, they have like posters with the covers of the magazines where they publish papers. Inside all the rooms all the scientists, they have these. They are in front of the doors of some laboratories. They don't have specific like the cover of the magazine, but they will have a kind of like varal de artigos que eles colocam lá, that the students they manage to publish it somewhere. So I think it's more about not maybe a change of behavior, that they already kind of like gained this mass production, and now the leadership are saying like, okay, we gained this ground, now you focus, we already have this territory, now let them, because they come here every day from Sunday to Sunday, actually. But thank you so much for your question, Alice. So anybody else wants to make a very interesting question for our friend here, Tom, Zhou? Maybe Tom is better, right, Morel? Tom.
Anyway. Well, let me take up this opportunity to make some comments, including for Zhou. You see, Zhou, in the email I sent yesterday to George and to Yishi, and which I asked now Andre to share it with you, Fiocruz is proposing 3 main areas of work for this IDRPC CEID. The first one is pathogen genomics. In pathogen genomics, you can include virome projects, you can include next generation sequencing, computation biology, phylogeny, things like that. So it's a very broad area that I think there is room for a lot of people to collaborate. The second big area, which I think is going to interest a lot Gabriel Lima Verde and some people in our group, is about structural biology and cryo-EM. Why? Yeah, because the structural biology is very much close to some of our technology we're using, and cryo-EM is a new technology being introduced in Brazil. So we would like very, very much to have a partnership with our Chinese colleagues in cryo-EM and structural biology. So I think this opens a lot of room for collaboration, exchange, mentorship, and things like that. The University of Rio de Janeiro, just the other side of the street, they bought their first cryo-EM, and they are going to inaugurate it during this year. And Fiocruz is proposing a partnership with the university so that we can use that instrument. While we still don't have one, but we're going to use one of the university. So I see a lot of opportunities to exchange expertise in cryo-EM, structural biology, modeling, and things like that. The third project is what Fiocruz is calling precision medicine, advanced therapies in cancer, in rare disease, and things like that. This is going to be the area coordinated at Fiocruz by our colleague Antonio Carlos Campos Carvalho. So I think we could start our collaboration, IDRP, CCID, in these three areas. So Fiocruz probably is going to put some money to facilitate this exchange, to facilitate the labs. Perhaps I would like again to go to Shenzhen and talk to our friends with BGI.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Joe, I had the opportunity to meet in the meeting in Geneva on the origin of new pathogens. Our Chinese colleague, Yung Yang, he works at BIG.
Oh, okay.
BIG.
I know him.
You know him, yeah. And we made a very good team in this SAGO meeting. And when he was in Geneva, we had dinner and so on. So I would like to see his lab in Beijing.
Okay.
You see? So that's
Near
something. Yeah, I think that it's in Beijing. I don't know where, but it's BIG is in Beijing, BGI is in Shenzhen.
Yes.
So these are the kind of things that, and also I would like to take Antonio Carlos and Bill Provence to see some labs where you do have cryo-EM.
Great.
I don't know if in Shenzhen or in Sari. André told me.
Yeah. Actually, there have three city. George's team we have. No. First in Beijing. In the.
Oh, you have already in Beijing also. You have in Beijing also.
Yeah. Physics, biophysics institute.
Biophysics institute over there.
Second is sorry, there have two cryo-EM 300 kilowatt, and in Shenzhen there and in the South Technology University. Yes, you've been there. Yeah.
Yes, we have been there. I was there. Yeah.
And there have six. Three
centers.
Yes, you see that there have six. Actually, I think Leo been the South University before, yeah, and actually George may be very exciting if your part have the Korean, because there are a lot of things we need to research on the molecular mechanism, especially for the pathogen. It's very important.
Yes, very important. And our second project on structural biology and cryo-EM, we have also some problems from at Fiocruz would like to investigate using cryo-EM. So I think that we could have a very good partnership in this area, you see?
Okay.
And Gabriel Lima Verde also can help us a lot because he's very good at modeling and protein structure and things like that. So I think these three big projects, we will be able to find room for a lot of collaboration. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, that's great.
So later on, Joe, would like to start discussing the air travel, when to arrive in China, when to visit things in Sari, in Beijing or Shenzhen, and how we should make the travel to China and back, which would be the best way.
Monique raised her hand.
Okay,
Monique's hello, everybody.
Hi, Monique. Good.
Hello. I'm very impressed with the talk, and I have a very specific question. I don't know if you can help me, but maybe André Lobato can help me about that. But it's about my expertise area, that is mass spectrometry and proteomics approach. And I'm wondering if you have in your center a facility center or mass spectrometry machines, proteomics approach and lipidomics approach, something like that, and how it works, and especially if you have some projects about artificial intelligence to analyze this kind of data, and how it works, and if you have partnerships with not only academia but with industry too. Okay, I have a lot of questions, but it's specific about that, about mass spectrometry, because it's different than genomics approach. The machines are different, more complex, more expensive. So I'm wondering how it works in your institution.
Okay. She asked
if you have mass spectrometry, proteomics, or lipidomics, lipidium.
Understand. And
if you have here in the institute, and if you don't, where maybe there is a place where she could try to reach and.
You means if we have this equipment, how you could be share with us, use this equipment? Yes.
Not only how you can share, but if you have a facility, it's a lot of machines, or how it's work, this approach, proteomics, lipidomics, not only genomics area, but areas that are complementary, right?
Complementary. Let me see. I understand what the equipment name is and what she wants to.
She wants to know if there is here in this laboratory, there is this kind of equipment.
Yeah.
Yes, there is this kind of equipment here. And what
André,
else?
minha pergunta é muito também relacionada se eles desenvolvem por inteligência artificial softwares que usam dado de espectrometria de massas também, entendeu? E se eles têm tipo uma facility com vários equipamentos, ou se é mais voltado para pesquisa acadêmica, entendeu?
So she's asking if you have the machines here for mass spectrometry, right? Yes, you have. And you said about developing artificial intelligence to do mimics the do you use AI with mass spectrometry here?
No,
not yet.
Not yet. Yeah.
So
actually, the AI so far in our institute working on the first is the genomic, the reading of the genomics, and the second is the peptide. They will predict the peptide depend on the structure biology. The third one is the antibody drugs design, and the fourth one is to develop the industry enzyme. It's working on that, and because you said the mass
spectrometry.
The spectrometry. So far, we don't have the talent will integrate, because every area we need at least one talent want to integrate the different area, and then we will working and support. And for actually in every direction, for our institute, we will give at least 3 million RMB to establish your working.
You understand that he said? So so they have this kind of new funding now. If they have a talent from overseas, usually Chinese that lives overseas, they offer them 3 million yuan just as a start, not for the laboratory, but for the person. So this person can start making up the lab.
It's a very specific area, right? And it's still difficult to get people they have this kind of expertise. So yeah, I understand. Thank you.
So if you want to further follow this conversation, Monique.
This is interesting.
Write to us, okay? And then we can maybe try to find, if there is not here in this laboratory, we will also connect, right? Our works also connecting other partners inside the corporation.
What I propose, André, is that this visit
and so now
in September.
It's very interesting.
André, 1 second. Let me make a comment on Monique. I think we can profit from the visit that the Chinese will do now, end of August. They could visit Monique Lab, you see, and so they would be able to talk more in more detail about her question.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is will be excellent, Morel. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So the director of the institute here will go. So Zhou just told me he will visit your laboratory, Monique.
Good. Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Ximena.
So, hello, good evening. Good morning for us, but good evening for you. I was very pleased by your lecture. Thank you very much. And I work with leprosy and public health and neglected tropical diseases. I was impressed that you talked about the need of global health and the importance of One Health, which is one of my areas of interest as well. And how do you see your institute? Because your institute, from what you said, you work with plant viruses, and it started from plant viruses to study plant viruses. And how do you actually put together all these expertise in plant health, also human health and veterinary health, together with environmental health? Now, we see the biosphere, the environment, as a key factor for planet health and global health. How are you working with this, and how do you have any of these activities in your lab and the other in your institute? And the other point I wanted to ask, if you can to have any knowledge on that, is that leprosy now is starting to be. There are some researchers that are bringing leprosy as a zoonosis, because Mycobacterium lepra, or now also Mycobacterium, a related Mycobacteria lepromatosis, is being found has been found not only in armadillos, but also in squirrels and other animals. Do you know anywhere in China where this is being investigated as well? Thank you.
Só uma pergunta, falhou também um pouco a ligação. Você falou lepromatose, de lepra?
Sim, there are Mycobacterium lepromatosis is just been relatively newly found and is related to Mycobacterium lepra. There is new speciation that has been said that not everything that is being found in related to leprosy is produced by Mycobacterium leprae. There are some researchers that have found this new species which is Mycobacteria lepromatosis.
Okay, so there are two questions from Ximena. One is your general view of One Health, how you connect human health, agricultural health, and veterinarian health. Well, we have many people here from the Agriculture University of China, Ximena. Don't talk about that. And the second one is a specific question about if you are working with, or you know somebody working with microbacterial.
Ma'am,
Yes.
if I know I will help you to ask someone who will working on that. But so far, I don't know this specific area. And the first question, you really good question is actually the leadership of the Chinese Academy of Science asked me the same question, and I tell them the combine of two laboratory, actually they have 3 levels. First level is we share the goals. Second level, we share the technology. Third level, we share the talent. And now actually someone working on the plant virus and someone working on the human virus, they combine. I give you an example. In the first level, the same goal, they working on use plant culture to produce the vaccine. And this much more safety, even have the much more better immunogenicity than the mammal cell produced. This is the first example. And
correct.
Tobacco. And second level is technology. Actually, the plant molecular technology, much more better than we working on the human virus. They are working a lot on that. Some, especially on some if they do some arrangement of the gene elements, because I'm not working on that, but I know that. And they said you're in your field to if my students come to your laboratory, do that very quickly. And this is in second level technology we share. And in the third level, because the survival of one talent in the scientists, there's sometimes they don't know this area is they could do working on. Actually we give a lot of the new area to that laboratory, and they know, oh, my technology could use in the defense of the virus infect people, and gave them a lot of the new ideas. So this is the initially combination of two laboratory. But in the future, actually, George said, we first thing they will change. The first thing is the talent. Someone actually understand the both of area, and they will thinking the One Health question. Yes, they will thinking on that. And the second is still the technology. Okay, they have the new technology platform. Okay, and they develop new technology platform. The third is the goals, the specific goals, the new area or something. That is our plan. Yes, on the combine of the laboratory. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Ximena, for your question. So,
Thank you. Yeah, what we understand, I understand, is that we need also for collaboration, interdisciplinary collaboration, and multidisciplinarity. So we need actually, people working with agriculture, talking to people working with veterinary medicine, with environment, and everybody, and human health, everybody working towards the same goal, which is planet health. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So thank you, Ximena. Very good questions. Anybody else wants to jump in and bring some particular point of view, something that's itching? While you take the courage, let me just emphasize how communication is also an issue, right? Sometimes it's difficult to keep up with the conversation because we are both sides using English as a second language, right? So if you want to write, maybe even in Portuguese, or make just speak in Portuguese as well, we can help with the translation. But also our global English, this mix of different accents using English is also welcome. So maybe Priscilla, I'm seeing Priscilla here, that I know her more closely. Maybe Marcos, would you like to make some question too? Otherwise, we can just let Morel speaks a little more.
Well, look, I think that in the long range, in long term, we hope that we can exchange scientists, experts, and students and young postdocs on long-term stays, not just 1 week, 1 month, but perhaps 1 or 2 years. Only through long-term that people get the opportunity to learn Chinese or learn Portuguese, it will begin to grow really strong collaborations, you see? And I think there is also work to be done there, you see? For instance, when people go to Germany, in general, they take a 3 months crash course in German. So they can go there and not get lost in the streets, you see, to learn the basic language. So perhaps we should have something like that in our Chinese-Brazil collaboration. Some crash courses on Chinese, Portuguese, so that people can be able to interact more with the local people, you see. It's very bad if you have to go to English to interact with China or to English. Well, if Joe comes to Brazil and goes to the Copacabana beach and speaks English, he will lose a lot of contact. See, so you have to learn some. You have to learn some keywords, key expression, and that's only through long-term exchange. You see, I think. So, but that's we are not going to start just a 1-year collaboration. We are going to start opening doors for long-term collaboration, and cultural changes take time. And I think, for instance, I am fascinated with museums of China. When I visit, I was fascinated by the museum I was visiting in Shanxi. You see objects of 2,000 years, 3,000 years. You see, so this is very interesting, and you can only profit from that if you stay long time. If you go for a congress, a meeting, and come back, you don't have the opportunity. But if you stay at some time, you can really go and meet a country. You see?
Yeah, I was discussing this recently here with Joe and George that we need to find maybe some periods that, and in a way that people arrive here in China, they already maybe have like a telephone from the corporation, something like that. That's easy to, because here everything's with the phone, people don't use cash anymore. So sometimes it's difficult to, if you are a foreigner, just to arrive here. You just don't go to the cash machine, get cash and use cash everywhere. And so people can say maybe 2-3 months and they have a general connection with the environment, you know, even though if they continue to communicate in English, there is already this person-to-person communication, culture-to-culture interaction that's very, very interesting, profitable too.
They have to take a course in WeChat and things like that before arriving there. You see, so they can be able to communicate and interact and go to restaurant and things like that.
We'll think about ways of solving these, and maybe we'll work even for other corporations of the IMCAS, not only us. My experience here will. But so
anyway, I think it was a very nice seminar. Very nice seminar. I think Joe made a very good introduction to the Institute of Microbiology, which is going to be our first door into China. It's through the Institute of Microbiology. So I think I really would like to thank Joe for that, Andre for his help in organizing this seminar, and to our local persons in Rio that organized, Claudio and Mark Giraldis. So I think this was a very good and very interesting seminar. So thank you, Joe, very much. And we look forward to meet you now in person, end of August, here in Brazil. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you,
Claudio,
Marcos, so
Claudio and Andre, Claudio and Mark, any comments?
Oh, should we take a print screen of the meeting? Cameras on or no? This is
Sure.
updated.
Sure.
So
yeah, so everybody put the cameras on. Good. Ximena, okay.
hello,
Marcelo.
Priscilla. Oh, by the way, I read
Carmen,
Priscilla,
okay.
the recent
Thank
paper.
you.
Maybe Marcelo, okay, maybe Marcelo is no